especially at the beginning of your career and you're trying to build a client list or you're trying to start to establish yourself in your freelancing role or your LLC or whatever. And it's like, you want the work so bad. You want the opportunity so bad that I think it's hard sometimes to find that balance between, I really want this opportunity. I also really want to get paid, but I want it to feel worth my time. Which brings me to a kind of a different topic I see a lot in sports is, when do you work for free? Did you ever work for free? And what does that look like? And the larger conversation of, if people are willing to take a job at a lower rate, people will just go hire that person and then you get like undercutted from the job. I know that's a very sensitive topic in sports.
If you are providing inherent value and someone solicits your service, I think you should be paid.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I worked for free, and I wouldn't even call it work because I wasn't a professional yet. So I think that's kind of where like a distinction I make. Like, I was a sideline reporter all throughout high school for like which is an insane sentence, but we had a live stream of our football games and I sidelined every single game for 4 years. And I didn't get paid to do that. I also didn't, expect to or want to get paid to do that. That was an experience. And I shot highlights of teams and things like that. For a local news station, I did get paid. This is actually one of my first ever paid jobs. I would shoot Lakeland High School football games on a literal camcorder. It was like this big.
Yep.
I could like hold it right here. Yep. And then would cut those up, send them to the news station, and they paid me $75 a game. And when I was 15, that was so much money.
I'm rich!
To me, that was so much money. I definitely think anytime where you can do experiences, work for free, volunteer, like that's a privilege, because like I was in a financial situation where my parents, took care of me and supported me and I didn't have to have a job in high school. And, at times in college I did or didn't have a job depending on what was going on. But like, I so see that like the ability to be able to do experiences because you need to do the experience and not have to make money on your own is, it's why I think all internships should be paid, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But I did stuff in college too. Like I was just trying to build a real, start to get reps, things like that. And I think it's a little different than, graphic designers and video editors and stuff, but you definitely have to start somewhere. But once I graduated from college, I did not do anything for free after that, unless it was something I wanted to volunteer to do. And I've done a lot of things because I wanted to volunteer to do it. But yeah, that's usually where I've fallen.
I think working for free is fine if it's in exchange for like networking. If you're young and you're like, I want to be in this industry, but I don't know anybody in this industry, approaching someone and saying, hey, I'm willing to, you don't know me. I don't have that much experience, but I want to do this. I'm willing to work for free for you for X amount of time. I think that's something that's worthwhile because you really never know where that's going to lead you. You never know where, a relationship that you meet with someone professionally is going to take you. I remember the first paid job I ever did in broadcasting was the person that became my first boss in sports media. Like, not talking about like high school jobs or, lifeguarding in college or anything. I'm talking about professional.
Graduated.
My career. So yeah, it was funny enough. This is another great story. I get an email, hey, there's a paid opportunity. I was like, paid? Oh my God. Like, that's incredible. This is my sophomore year of college. I'm like, getting paid is nuts. So I go, it's University of Florida track and field. I'm sitting in the cooking sun in May. It had to be like March, April, or May.
No, you were working the Florida Relays. That's what you were working. Yep.
It was the Florida Relays. And I had a camera on a tripod. The tripod had no arm. So the camera is on the tripod and my hand is through the like strap on the side on top of the tripod. And I'm trying to like follow the relays, like using my hand to guide it because there's no tripod arm.
Meanwhile, people are running a sub 4.4 and you're like,
oh my God. Yeah. Grant Holloway is like cooking him on the field and on the track. And like in my mind, it was a disaster. And in that moment, I told myself, I'll never work for this lunatic guy ever again. Well, guess what he says as I'm turning the equipment in? Hey, do you know anyone who's from Melbourne, Florida, which is my hometown? And I'm like, I'm from Melbourne, Florida. He goes, great, I'll give you an internship. I'll give you paid work all summer long if you want. And I was like, and that was my first job where Savanna and I met. So,
That's wild.
And now here we are doing the pod, talking about it. It's just so wild.
Hey, shout out to that tripod with no arm.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. For more on sports media and working in the industry, subscribe to the How to Cook a Goose podcast.